How's it going, you guys? Today is a really pretty day and I'm going to do something a little bit different on this channel. We are going to do some woodworking. Since we're probably not supposed to be out there fishing right now, I decided to spruce up my future cooking game and get a bunch of herbs from the local hardware store. I got 10 different live herbs and 2 seed packs. I'm going to make a video on which herbs I got and why next time, but this time I decided that these herbs deserved a special home. So I spent all night drawing up like tons of schematics for planter boxes, and I think I came up with something that is gonna be really economical, really pretty, and it should last a really long time. I chose redwood because redwood is really resistant to moisture. It just is a high quality wood that will last us a long time. So let's get to it. In terms of power tools, you're at least going to need a circular saw and a power drill. If you have a miter saw or a table saw, that's going to make your life a lot easier, but I got away with just using these two and you'll be fine without any of the fancy stuff. You're also going to want some kind of coated outdoor screw. I got these Deckmate 1 1/4 inch. You could go a little longer if you wanted, but really anything you have lying around should work. The first thing we're going to do is cut our 7.5 inch picket right in half. That's going to make 2 equal 3-foot long pieces. These are going to serve as the bottom of our planter, as you'll see later. Next, we're going to cut one of our 10-foot posts into 4 equal 2.5-foot pieces. These are going to be the planter legs, and they're actually going to be the pillars that the rest of the planter box is built around. To make the rest of the planter box, we're going to take our second 10-foot post and cut 2 33 1/4 inch pieces. These are the front and back of the frame, and then we just need 2 1-foot 3/8 inch pieces, and these are the 2 sides of the frame. So now we have the frame, the bottom, and the legs to the planter, but we still need the front and back walls as well as the side walls. These 2 5.5 inch wide pickets are going to be the front and back walls, and all we got to do is cut them right in half, making 4 equal 3-foot long pieces. So now take 2 of those pieces that you just cut. I chose both dog-eared pieces to be on the same side. Take 2 legs and take one of the front frames and start laying them out. Then grab your screws and basically screw it all together. This is what it should look like when you're done. Because my screws were a little short, I actually had to flip the whole thing around before I was able to screw it in, but you can do it whichever way you find easier. Then take your other 2 walls and do the exact same thing all over again. If you have better woodworking tools than me, then you're gonna have a better, more square result, but here you can see that I'm using this board down here to try and square this piece as best I can. Next, we're going to take our side walls, and on 2 of the side walls, we're going to screw in our side frames. So now you should have 2 of these side walls with gaps on each side, and then take one of the pieces that you just made and we're going to screw it into one of the fronts of the planter. Because I have such limited woodworking tools, I'm going to use one of these spare boards to do my best and square up these 2 pieces. Then take another wall piece, one that does not have a frame piece attached to it, and screw it in right on top. We're going to repeat that process on the other side. Here's my wall piece with a frame attached to it, and we're going to do the same thing. So here's how it should look with 2 walls and 1 face. We just got to add the last face piece. I was having trouble attaching the last face piece on the table, so I put everything on the floor and it made it a lot easier to screw that last piece in. Now your planter can stand all by itself. Given the limited tools that I have, I was really surprised that the planter wasn't at all wobbly. If I had a miter saw, my cuts would have been way better, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. Then go find the first picket that we cut. We should have 2 3-foot pieces of 7.5 inch wide picket, but in order for this to actually fit inside of the planter, we're gonna have to cut out 2 pieces for the legs. You can see why we have to do this here. So just use a little piece of the 2x2 post to trace out the holes and cut them out. Alright guys, the box is basically all done. We just need to add some drainage holes. I just want to say that if I were to do this build again, I might consider using something bigger than these 2x2s. They just make the box look a little bit weaker, like it's got these little stork legs. But in terms of strength, it's good. Doesn't really wobble or anything. So let's add those drainage holes, finish up. Herbs in particular love really well drained soil, so I'm just gonna eyeball 3 drainage holes in the floorboards here. In order for your box to last a long time, you're gonna want to use some kind of liner to keep the dirt from directly touching the wood as best that you can. So I measured out 2 28-inch pieces, and then I used some of my garden soil to start putting the liner in place. If you had a staple gun, I think that would work very well too. Now that you've got a little bit of dirt in there holding the liner, you're going to want to find some rocks like these. I just found these in the backyard, and you're going to put them around the holes that you drilled. So under the dirt, but above the liner. The idea is that you want to keep the dirt from clogging the holes, and you also don't want your rocks to clog the holes either. Alright guys, I have my planter box all done. I almost forgot to put the rocks over the drainage holes, but I did remember. If you want to see the schematics for this build, I'm going to draw them out and I'm going to put them on my website. I'm launching a new website. It's called catchandcook.com. Catchandcook.com, I'm going to be posting recipes, builds like this, really anything. There's not much on it right now, but hopefully this will be the start to a lot of information on there. Really happy with this. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. And I'll see you next video for these tasty herbs. See ya!